Hi and welcome back. In this series of videos, we're going to look at Christian meditation. If you're like me, when I was younger and I was raised in a Christian culture and went to a variety of Christian churches, I was surprised to find later on that in fact there is quite a long history of meditation in the Christian church. It dates back all the way to just after the death of Jesus. And what happened was there were a lot of people who were later given the name Gnostics who did meditation. There was a later group, just 100 to 200 years after Jesus' death, a group of people who went into the deserts in Egypt. Some say it's because they were protesting the way that the church was going. Others say that it was just a way that these people went to try and find their own sense of Christianity. And this group became known as the Desert Fathers. And this group was very interesting. Some of the stuff that we'll get into in later videos will talk about just how these people approached meditation. Meditation went very blank in the Christian church. It was frowned upon by the mainstream church and continues to do so to some degree to this day, although less so in the last 50 years. In the Middle Ages, there were individuals who became known as the Christian mystics. There was also a branch of the church known as the Copts who practiced a form of meditation that was actually used by the Desert Fathers called hesychasm. And there is also a group within the Catholic Church called the Benedictines, the Benedictine monks, who follow the rule of Benedict and actually do a form of meditation as well. Of course, in the last 50 years, there's been a big change, and a lot of people within the Christian church have begun to do contemplative meditation and devotional meditation and some forms of meditation that really are very similar to mindfulness and the meditations that we've talked about earlier. And we'll get into that a little later. So enjoy this series. I hope you find it useful and perhaps find some different forms of meditation that you will practice and will strengthen the link between your Christian culture, the culture that you were raised in, and the more Eastern practices of meditation, and begin to understand some of the similarities between those forms of meditation. Ultimately, we are all trying to do the same thing. We are trying to get closer to that individual within ourselves, within our heart, that is a compassionate being and is compassionate towards others, so that we can create a world that is more friendly, more kind, where people are happy and where people are compassionate towards each other. And so our whole process of investigation continues. And be well, be happy, meditate.